Am I the asshole for refusing to give my ex-husband's girlfriend a part of the inheritance? I, 58F, was married to a man for 16 years and we had a son. After my son was killed by a drunk driver, we couldn't support each other. We divorced 6 years ago, I moved to a different state and we haven't spoken since then. About a month ago I was contacted by the executor of his will and informed of his death. His latest will was written about a year ago. When I went I was informed that he left me everything, except for $10,000 that he left to his girlfriend. They were together for 2 years and lived in the same house. Now his girlfriend is demanding that I surrender all of the inheritance to her. She says that I wasn't the one that was there for him when he was drowning in his grief, that I moved on while he was still feeling guilt over the death of our son. I have refused so far, but I still feel a bit guilty since I am planning to sell the house, our marital house. I couldn't bear to stay in it after our son's death, so she will have to look for housing. She can't afford to, she doesn't have a job. Also I make a good living and own a house outright, inherited from my parents. So am I the asshole? Edit. Since this seems like a frequent question, I offered her to stay at the house free of charge for the next 6 months before I put it on the market. Also I offered her choice of whatever she wants to take from my ex's personal effects and house furniture she wants to take. That and the continued use of the car. Not the asshole. He left her money but felt you deserved more. She had her inheritance. Don't give her a penny. He clearly had a reason to leave it to you. I am so sorry about your son 4X. The fact that she was specifically named to get $10,000, which may be taxable, he named you got the rest for a reason. It is not for us to try to understand his motive. I am sorry for your loss. But you owe her nothing. I am sorry for her as well, but I have little sympathy for able adults that cannot take care of themselves. She is not your job. Not the asshole. The girlfriend was given $10,000. If your ex wanted her to have more, he had every opportunity to do that. She should be ashamed of trying to guilt you. Not the asshole. She's out of line for demanding that money. Yes, she was there for a man in grief, but that's what you do for people you love, and you don't expect payment for it. Also, she's incredibly insensitive for the loss of your son. I am very sorry to hear that, Op. Don't feel bad about respecting the will. Not the asshole. He didn't forget her in the will, he left her the amount he wanted her to have. Don't let her guilt you, you are already being more than generous. He wrote it a year ago? So it's pretty new, and back then the situation was the same as now, right? Not the asshole. If his girlfriend is unhappy, your ex is to blame. I am so sorry you and your ex-husband lost your son. Not the asshole. Your husband obviously wanted you to have his inheritance. If he wanted to leave it to his GF, he would have done so when he updated his will a year ago. Not the asshole. It's scary how money-hungry and greedy people get after a death. Am I the asshole for not taking my wife's side and admitting that she overreacted? Some background. My wife is a makeup artist. She always has those heavy makeup looks on, which can be weird for me as guy sometimes, but she loves it and enjoys it, so no problems there. Though my friends and family tend to make funny, light-hearted comments on her makeup which she seems to take too seriously. Now the situation, my 27th birthday was few days ago. We celebrated at a small diner with my guy friends and my wife. Now my guy friends are brutally honest and make jokes and tease all the time. My wife knows how they are, so no surprises there. Anyways, my wife took a minute to use the toilet to get her makeup fixed as me and the boys were chatting. When she got back she asked me how she looked, and before I could answer, my friend Austin responded by jokingly saying, "Damn. You look like you just got out of the cancer ward with that heavy makeup on your face." The rest of the guys started laughing and I just stared at my wife. She got very upset and started arguing with Austin about how awful he was. Others joined in and there was so much commotion. I felt upset that they were fighting during my birthday celebration. I asked my wife to calm down and take a seat, but she asked if I was okay with my friends making fun of her. Austin said, "Come on, it was a joke." I threw my habds up and said that I admit that my wife overreacted because really it was a joke. She lashed out on me and took an Uber home. The party was cut short and when I got home we began arguing. I told her she overreacted and that she shouldn't take everything seriously knowing how great she always looks, but she turned it into an argument about how I let my friends insult her, and how I should have defended her and her integrity after I basically forced thighs guys upon her when she was the INE who arranged for this Entra celebration. She kept crying about getting humiliated and me dismissing her feelings and saying she overreacted. You are the asshole. These are your friends, not hers, so the brutal honesty and jokes should be aimed at you, not your wife. Brutal honesty is just a way of covering for being an asshole to people. Honesty without tact is cruelty. You definitely should have defended your wife. Your friend was needlessly cruel. You are the asshole, and a big one. You let your friends and family mock your wife for something she enjoys, then tells her she should calm down. Don't be surprised if she leaves you one day. You are the asshole. This is a passion of your wife, something she really enjoys and can express herself with. You are letting your family and friends stomp on that. I can understand if they don't get it and express that maybe once, but making fun of her because of it is a strong no. Also, cancer ward is mean and disrespectful in so many ways. She wasn't overreacting at all. Imagine your passion being diminished and made fun of constantly. It's justified to get worked up over that. Info. Come on, it was a joke. Explain it to me. What is funny about it? Are they being brutally honest, or joking and teasing? It can't be both. If it is the first, then you are the asshole because what your friend said was cruel, even if he believes it. If is the second, you are the asshole for letting your friends continually tease and bully your wife. No one likes to be made fun of for their appearance, no one. You are the asshole, you tell her to calm down, but you don't tell the guys to knock it off? How often do they insult her like this? Brutally honest is usually a code word for assholes. It's an excuse to let them be as mean as they want and for anyone in the middle to say, you know how they are. Info. Explain how the comment was funny, please. She is absolutely right. That's exactly what you did. That was not just a joke. That was an incredibly cruel thing to say about something your wife loves to do. I bet she hates all the jokes they make but keeps her mouth shut out of respect for you. You should have respected her in turn and defended her. Because that sucked. You not only let your friends pick at your wife with very nasty jokes, which shouldn't be allowed no matter their personality, but then you sat there in front of them and told her she was being dramatic and to calm down. You reinforced in them that it's totally okay to bash on your wife, and they now know you won't do anything and will side with them. You are the asshole. Am I the asshole for not allowing family to see my daughter until after they explain why she wet herself? My daughter is 7 and autistic, partially verbal. During high-stress situations she goes mute. Anyway, she went to my sister's house all happy on Friday. It was a whole family get-together. I had to run S&D deliver some packages. I was gone for like half an hour. Anyway, when I got back she was in different clothes and very clearly upset. I asked what happened and my sister told me she wet herself after she couldn't have a chocolate pop. Now, here's the thing with my girl. She would never wet herself purposefully. She has extreme anxiety surrounding her toileting, to the point of therapy. I don't know what this anxiety is caused by, but it's pretty severe. She was clearly very distressed, so I just took her home. In the car she broke down sobbing, but was unable to tell me what happened. As soon as we got home she took herself upstairs and put a pull-up on, pull-ups being accessible for her as a recommendation, so she has more control over herself, and has been super cuddly since. She hasn't been using her AAV devices or signing at all. She has 2 therapists and she's due to see them both in the next week to see if they'll be able to help me understand what happened. Family have been awful. My sister, mainly, who is still claiming that she was being a brat and is doing this all for attention. I've since told every family member they will not be seeing her or me until the truth has been told. Which may be overkill, but I don't think my daughter would want to see anyone anyway. Obviously this has upset a lot of people, especially those who don't know what happened. I'm standing by my statement. If my sister won't tell me off her own back, pressure from other family members may help her along. I'm slightly concerned I'm being a major ass, though, to those who want to see her and now can't. I'm starting to feel quite bad, despite having explained my situation in full. Am I the ass here? ETA. I am my daughter's father. Although I do appreciate the mama bear comments lol. My sister, mainly, who is still claiming that she was being a brat and is doing this all for attention. Well, I think we can narrow down who caused the problem, even if we don't know exactly what happened. Is your sister prone to yelling at children? My initial guess based on that statement is she screamed at your poor kid until she wet herself and is trying to justify it by calling your daughter a brat. And I do not believe, even for a minute, that your child is somehow faking this reaction for attention. Not the asshole. Something happened to your kid. Protect her. Not the asshole. I'm also thinking there is something significant that you're not being told. Yeah. It's notorious that autistic people want to get attention. Face with rolling eyes. Honestly, not the asshole. Your child is majorly upset and something doesn't add up. You do you and protect your daughter. Oh my God, not the asshole. You are being a hero for your daughter right now. Do not bend on this. The fact that your sister is lying because she knows your daughter is defenseless and cannot tell you what happened to her is appalling. You sound like a good dad and you are just trying to do what is best for your kid. Getting to the truth of what happened is important, but I don't see the need to tell the entire family. You mentioned some people didn't know what happened. So why do they need to know? Have an adult conversation with your sister. Sounds like she was the one in charge while you were gone. Hopefully you can get some answers from the therapists or your child will open up about it. You prioritized protecting your child when she was in distress. Clearly you are not the asshole, but there may be a better approach to resolving this. Good luck. Not the asshole is her father. You're entitled to do what you see fit to keep her safe with no explanation. Not the asshole. I think separating from your family until they tell you what traumatized your daughter is smart. You're being a good dad by taking care of your girl. Not the asshole. They need to know they can't get away with whatever this was. Your poor daughter. Also. Why couldn't she have a chocolate pop? Geez. Am I the asshole for not telling my coworkers that I'm polyamorous and laughing at them? I, 32F, am in a poly relationship with Ruby, my girlfriend of 11 years, and Louie, my boyfriend of 10 years. The three of us all date each other and are closed off to dating anyone outside of our current relationship. I never mentioned this to my coworkers because I never cared to. I don't tend to talk about my life while at work. A few weeks ago my coworker Ken, who was aware I had a boyfriend, saw me making out with Ruby at a bar and took some pictures. He, apparently, started telling everyone that I was cheating on Louie and showed the pictures of Ruby, and I had noticed that some people were giving me the cold shoulder, but I just figured it was something to do with my recent promotion. A few days ago I was talking to my friend in the break room about her ex and mentioned how much I hate cheaters, which prompted Ken and a few of my other coworkers to start calling me out and tell me that I was a hypocrite. When I said that I never cheated, Ken confronted me with the pictures of Ruby and I at the bar and a picture of Louie and I on a date from last week. Ken kept asking, "So who are you dating?" while shoving his phone in my face, so I just brushed his arm aside and told him, both of them. That only seemed to see him and others off worse, and he started nagging me again and I started laughing. I wasn't trying to be rude, I just actually found it funny how upset everyone was getting over my relationship that they had no idea about. He stopped talking after laughed and I took that time to explain my relationship and showed pictures of all three of us, including ones of Ruby and Louie kissing, and I joked about him taking pictures, like a stalker. Now a bunch of my coworkers are pissed that I hid my polyamory from them and are now saying that it's my fault, that they now look like jerks for talking bad about me behind my back. Am I the asshole for not telling my coworkers that I'm poly and subsequently laughing in their faces? Edit. Just to clear up some things. 1. Ken does not know either of my partners. He only knew about Louie and had no reasonable way of knowing if I was still with him at the time. 2. I was unaware of any of the pictures being taken until Ken showed me them. 3. Ken was definitely stalking me and I've been in contact with the police, so thank you to my coworkers who reached out with some info about that. Not the asshole. Your polyamory is none of their business. And Ken frankly deserves to be called out for photographing you in public like a stalker. Since he apparently wasn't going to show these pictures to Louie as proof that you're cheating, it looks like he was only showing them around the office to gossip about you. I would talking to HR about Ken, in your place. Holy shit, 10,000% not the asshole, and this workplace sounds toxic AF. Your personal life is none of their business. You owe them nothing. If they want to pry, snoop, jump to conclusions, and spread rumors, it's not your job to disabuse them of their unfair conclusions. It's their job to not draw those shitty conclusions in the first place. It's a job seeker's market right now. Get out of this workplace if you can. Not the asshole, but your coworkers certainly are for taking pictures of you like that. Like, what were they planning on doing had that conversation never happened? Not the asshole. Your personal life is your personal life and no one else's business. If your job has an HR department, I would actually go to them and report your coworker for the picture showing and the gossiping behind your back. Not the asshole. Pretty sure you have a sexual harassment case on your hands. Not the asshole. You could be dating 10 people, and it's still none of their business. Can you go to HR? I think stalking and spreading rumors about you is probably against company policy. Not the asshole. Your personal relationships are not relevant to the workplace. You have zero obligation to discuss your personal life. If you have an HR department, I recommend reporting this behavior to them. It's harassment. Gossip like this causes a hostile work environment. Not the asshole at all. Not everybody understands polyamory, so I get that to an outsider it can seem odd. But your coworker had no right to take those photos and try to confront you with them. Nor is it really anyone's business what your relationship status is. You didn't owe them an earlier explanation. And no, again, you're not the asshole for laughing at them because they were being ridiculous.